So it's called air layering. So basically, you're going to score the outer layer of bark, make a little incision, a whole ring of a score, and then you remove the outer layer of bark to expose the inner layer. And then you're using saran wrap or tin foil, anything to create like a bubble over top of your scored area. And within the saran wrap or tin foil, you're basically putting soil, sphagnum moss, anything that's a substrate for the roots to grow in. So once in moisture, to keep it moist, while you then cover it with your saran wrap or tin foil, and then sealing it with rubber bands, a little bit of tape, anything to keep the moisture and condensation within your air layer. And this will be existing on your tree. You do it on an existing tree branch on your fruit tree, and then after anywhere from a couple weeks to a couple months, you'll start to have roots that produce from the second layer of bark that's exposed to the substrate, where it now produces roots within the air layer. And then from there, it's on your tree, and you trim right below your air layer, and then you're left with a clone of the fruit tree. You got your roots, the rest of the branch, and then below where you cut it. So all this will be in the ground, and then you have a cloned duplication of your fruit tree, whether it's mango, strawberry tree, or Kirsten fruit, which we have here, or pretty much any kind of fruit tree is air layerable. And then within it, you can see the root system growing. So then within that whole entire system, got a bunch of older brown roots and some nice white fresh roots. And one is this, of course, trimming back a few things, and really to make sure the fruit tree handles its transplant well. You can go to all different degrees, but I'm going to really trim it back to some main stalks, just so it's not trying to exert so much energy into a whole entire tree branch. Rather, it's just going to just have, just much less to tend to and to recover from. So then you got your little strawberry tree, and simple as getting your pot and your soil. You'll probably want to loosen up the roots just a small bit if possible. Once you loosen up the roots and then it's put into the new soil, it just has more of a tendency to stretch out, looking for just where to restructure itself. So if possible, loosen up your air layer a bit, and then, extremely easy way to get it in the ground is simply shaking your soil around it. One important thing when you're adding soil or potting anything up, you don't want to press down the soil, don't want to press on it to support the plant itself. If you do that, for example, you press onto the soil to push anything down, you're basically going to make it more of an issue for water to flow through the soil properly. So you just shake it a little bit, get it all around your potted plant, and then from there you could just water it and allow the water to compress it all together in the whole root system, rather than yourself doing it and actually restricting water from flowing and doing what it's supposed to do. And then you literally just let it sit in some shade for, probably a month, I'd say. You can let it go for a month, or if you just start seeing new growth and foliage being produced, you'll know it's continuously growing. But pretty much a month in the pot, some partial shade, good humidity, handle its transplant, and then from there you got your clone to transplant into the ground.